Well, opposition parties involved in mass action to force President Jacob Zuma out of office have vowed to act as equal partners during this morning's march in Pretoria. The parties include EFF, DA, IFP, COPE, ACDP, AGANG SA and APC. They will march from Church Square to the Union Buildings. Zuma's recent cabinet reshuffle triggered the march. The reshuffle has been blamed for the country's worsening economic situation. It is compounded by junk credit rating downgrades by 2 rating agencies. Now let's cross live to our reporter in Pretoria at Church Square, Chriselda Lewis. Chriselda, a very good morning to you. Just set the scene for us and give us an idea when the march is expected and how many people have already started to gather.
Well, Leanne, this is where the opposition march will begin here at Church Square in Pretoria. We're expecting the economic freedom fighters, the DA, the UDM, as well as the ACDP and the Congress of the People, amongst others, to bus in thousands of their members and supporters to march from here to the Union Buildings against President Jacob Zuma. Well, we're expecting that to get underway at 9 o'clock this morning. But as you heard there, the police are certainly leaving nothing to chance. If it judges by the press conference held yesterday by the Police Minister Fikile Mbalula, as well as the acting National Police Commissioner Khumutso Phahlane, they're saying they're not going to tolerate any violence and have called on all of those who are going to participate in this march to do so responsibly. We're also hearing from traffic officials that we're expecting the national roads, the N1 and the N4, for there to be massive traffic delays there as these different party hopefuls, the opposition party hopefuls, will be making their way from different provinces to come and join this national shutdown. I think what's important also to note at this point is that several roads leading to the Union Buildings will also be closed, but we've not seen any police presence here at this stage. I think also important there to note as well, Leanne, in terms of the participation in this march here, is that you'd recall last week that the South African Communist Party had participated in the People's March here in Pretoria, but we saw the SABC Gauteng indicate yesterday that they're not going to participate in this march against President Jacob Zuma, calling both the EFF and the DA bourgeoisie parties. And I think this is quite striking, given the fact that the South African Communist Party is among those parties that have called on President Jacob Zuma to resign. I think we also have to look at what the impact might also be of the story that you just ran there, Leanne, as well. There's the national bus strike, and that the expectation was that many of the marchers will be getting on some of those buses to come here to Pretoria. It remains to be seen what impact the national bus strike will have on this march. We also heard from Gautrain indicating that its bus service will also be interrupted. Today's quite a day of ironies there, I must also indicate, Leanne, but given the fact that today is President Jacob Zuma's 75th birthday, and you've got opposition parties that are marching to his doorstep at the Union Buildings, certainly not the birthday present that President Jacob Zuma was hoping for. And I think ironically also, it is also the birthday of the ex-finance minister Pravin Gordhan. Remember, Pravin Gordhan was also, after being sacked from President Jacob Zuma's cabinet, he openly said that he was canvassing South Africans to speak up against what they termed was an injustice relating to President Jacob Zuma's cabinet reshuffle, and how many of the alliance partners had indicated, for example, that they were not consulted when it came to the cabinet reshuffle. So it's a day full of ironies. We're expecting it to be a very eventful day. As you can see behind me as well, just a handful of supporters and members of the economic freedom fighters have already started arriving here at Church Square.
All right, thanks very much, Chriselda Lewis. We'll keep on crossing to her throughout the program. And yes, indeed, mentioning that